Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic heart. Okay. In general, we are going to be specific, we are going to study about the human heart. When we talk about human heart, let's first discuss about the general features of it. General features. General features of heart. So our human heart is originated from the mesoderm. Okay, it is a mesodermally originated. Where it is located? It is located in media, situated in media sternum. What is this media sternum? What is this media sternum? This media sternum is nothing but the space between your two lungs. These are your two lungs. Okay. The space between them is nothing but mediastinum. This is where your heart is located, and heart is tilted towards the left. Okay, our heart is little bit tilted towards the left, and this this has an exception. Not all of the people have their hearts tilted towards left. Some of the people are exceptions. These there are some people who have heart tilted towards right. Okay, heart. Some of them have their hearts tilted towards right, lean towards the right side. Such condition is called dextrocardia. It is called dextrocardia. Okay, so this is about the where it is situated, and let's talk about the size of heart. So heart is usually roughly the size of your fist. If you hold your fist like this is how much your heart is. Okay, this is the size of your particular heart. It is the size of your fist. It is the size of your fist. Okay, let's talk about the weight of your heart. Okay, let's talk about the weight of your heart. So the heart of male and female, the weight of the heart of male and females vary. When we talk about the heart of females, it's roughly 250 grams, and when we talk about males, a male heart usually weighs around 300 grams. Okay, it weighs around 300 grams. So this is the general features. Let's talk about the walls of heart. Okay, the walls of heart. So when we talk about walls of heart, there are three walls of heart. First one is epicardium. This epicardium is a double membrane. It is a double membrane structure. Okay, it is a double membrane layer. One layer is a visceral layer. The other one is a parietal layer. The other one is the parietal layer. Okay, this membrane is made up of reticulate fibers. It is made up of the reticulate fibers. This is the structure, double membrane structure. There is a cavity between these two visceral and parietal layers, which is called pericardial cavity. What is it called? Pericardial cavity. And there is a fluid present, which is pericardium endocardial fluid. So this is the first layer of the heart wall. Okay, let's talk about the second one, which is a very important layer. Okay, second one is the myocardium. This is nothing but the muscular layer. It is made up of the cardiac muscles. It is made up of cardiac muscles. These cardiac muscles are responsible for your heart to contract. They are responsible for heart contraction. They are responsible for heart contraction. Okay. So this is the second one, second layer. Third one is the endocardium. This endocardium, it is made up of simple squamous epithelium. So these are the three layers of the walls of heart. First one is the epicardium, second one is the myocardium, third one is the endocardium. Let me draw a diagram which will specifically tell you how this thing is. It will give you an idea of how this thing is. So this one is the epicardium. Yes, this one is the epicardium. It is having two layers, pericardial pericardial fluid is there, cavity is there which is filled with the pericardial fluid, and the next one is the myocardium. Yes, and the last one is the endocardium. So this is the thing here. This is where the blood is. I hope this diagram gives you a brief idea of how actually the heart walls look. Okay, epicardium, myocardium, endocardium. So after this, let's actually come to the main point of this video lecture, that is the structure of heart. Structure of heart. Okay, as you know, the heart is four chambered. Heart is the four chambered. It is a four chambered heart. We are mammals, and all mammals have four chambered heart. Let me give you a brief once over of how these structures are. So as you can see, these are the four chambers. These are auricles, these are ventricles. There are two sides, left and the right. This one is the right auricle, this one is the right ventricle, this one is left and auricle, this is the left ventricle. Okay, I once again want to discuss little bit about double circulation here, because the mention of double circulation is very important if you want to understand the structure of heart perfectly. So let's have a once over of double circulation here. When we talk about double circulation, the all of the deoxygenated blood is collected from the tissues and it is sent to the heart via inferior and superior vena cava to the right part of the heart, and this right part of the heart will send this deoxygenated blood for oxygenation to the lungs via pulmonary artery. And when the blood will reach the lungs will oxygenize uh, this blood, deoxygenated blood, and convert it into oxygenated blood, and it will be sent back to left part of the heart, and this left part of the heart will send the blood to all parts of the body via aorta. This is the brief explanation of the double circulation. Now let's discuss about the types, what about the parts of the heart, in by remembering uh, this double circulation also. So let's talk about the right part of the heart first. Okay, the right part of the heart has two chambers, right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, this right atrium will receive, as you know, it will receive two two major veins, which are inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. Inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. Okay, so this superior vena cava, it will collect the blood from the upper part of the body. Okay, it will collect the deoxygenated blood from the upper part of the body, and the inferior vena cava, this inferior vena cava, it will collect the blood from, it will collect the blood from the lower part of the body. Lower part of the body, it will collect the deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body, and it will send it to the right atrium. Remember one very important, very simple line that we need to remember when it comes to heart is: right is always wrong, left is always right. Meaning, right part will receive the deoxygenated blood and left part will receive the oxygenated blood. Right is always wrong, it is receiving impure blood, and left is always right, meaning it is receiving the oxygenated blood. Okay, so as you can see here, superior vena cava and inferior vena cava pour all the deoxygenated blood collected from upper and lower part of the body to the heart, to the right part of the heart. They will pour into the right auricle. Okay, right atrium, auricle, both are the same names. So when this deoxygenated blood is collected, okay, it is sent to right ventricle. Okay, but not before passing a valve, very important valve. There is a septum, there is a septum which separates this atrium and ventricle. This septum is called atrioventricular septum. When we deal with the right part, there is a particular wall that represents this atrioventricular septum, that is the tricuspid valve. These valves, what are valves first? Valves are door like things which will stop the backflow of blood from one part of the body to the other part of the body. So we have a tricuspid valve which will open when the right atrium is filled with blood, and which will allow the flow of blood from atrium to ventricle. So this ventricle will receive the blood, uh, deoxygenated blood from the right atrium. It will receive, and this is only possible because tricuspid valve has opened. Tricuspid valve has opened. Okay, so this right atrium has now received the deoxygenated blood, and what is the first thing that this ventricle should do? It should send the deoxygenated blood to lungs. Yes, and this is done by pulmonary artery. Yes, it is done by pulmonary artery. Okay, it is done by pulmonary artery. It is done by Okay, this pulmonary artery is the only exceptional artery which is carrying deoxygenated blood. As you know, arteries are always responsible for carrying oxygenated blood, but this pulmonary artery is an exception. It is an exception. What Why is it an exception? Because this is the only artery which is carrying deoxygenated blood. It is carrying deoxygenated blood from the right part of the heart to the lungs. Okay, so this pulmonary artery is going to be divided into two bifurcations. One is the right pulmonary artery, and left pulmonary artery. This one will go to right lungs, this one will go to the left lung. As you know, we have right and left lung, both will receive the deoxygenated blood from this right pulmonary artery and left pulmonary artery. And lungs is the junction, is the place where the oxygenation of the blood is going to happen. And once the oxygenation process, exchange of gases and takes place, and the blood becomes oxygenated again, it is sent back to heart again. Yes, it is sent back via a pulmonary, it is sent back to heart via pulmonary vein. As you know, there is an exception for artery, and here in vein also there is an exception, which is a pulmonary vein. We already know that veins are responsible for carrying deoxygenated blood, but pulmonary vein is the only exceptional vein which is doing the exact opposite. That is, it is carrying oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Okay, so when this left atrium will receive the uh, oxygenated blood from the lungs, it is going to send it to left ventricle. As soon as the left atrium will be filled with deoxygenated blood, it is going to be sent to left ventricle. And once the left ventricle will receive this oxygenated blood, it is going to be sent to the all parts of the body. How is it done? It is done via a major artery called aorta, a very strong artery, large artery, which is aorta. This aorta is responsible for sending blood to all your tissues, all your cells, all your organs. It is responsible for sending the blood to all parts of your body. Okay, so this is how the double circulation works. This is how you can relate the parts of the heart by studying the double circulation. There are some parts that we have missed that we are going to study. Okay, one more thing. So when the blood is going to be sent to left auricle, to left ventricle, there is a particular valve, that is the bicuspid valve, which will allow this flow, and it will open when there is a need to send the blood from left atrium to left ventricle. That is bicuspid valve. This bicuspid valve is also called as mitral valve. Okay, so when I am talking about valves, there are not just two valves, there are many more. Okay, there are valves at the end of this pulmonary artery also. Okay, here, this is called a semilunar valve. It is called a semilunar, particularly semilunar pulmonary valve. It is called semilunar pulmonary valve. It will stop the backflow of blood from from lungs to heart. Okay, and this there is a valve at the end, at the starting point of aorta also. Uh, it will stop the backflow of blood from the um, aorta to the left ventricle. It is called the semilunar pulmonary semilunar aortic valve. So these are some of the valves. There is another valve which is at the end of this inferior vena cava. It will stop the backflow of blood from the heart to lower parts of the body. And this valve is called eustachian valve. These are some of the valves that your heart has. Okay, and the arteries, they are separated by a septum. This septum that separates these two arteries, yes, these are the two arteries, and they are separated by a septum called interauricular septum. And the ventricles, they are separated by a septum also. They are also separated by a septum, and that is called interventricular septum. So this is the basic structure of heart and its parts. Okay, we have studied about right atrium, where superior and inferior vena cava will pour the deoxygenated blood into it, and after that the valves, the tricuspid valve is there, which will stop the backflow of blood from right ventricle to right auricle. There is a tricuspid valve, and the blood will flow. When this valve will open, the blood will flow from right atrium to right ventricle, and we know that this deoxygenated blood is sent to the lungs by pulmonary artery, and after the oxygenation, the oxygenated blood is coming back to the left auricle via pulmonary vein, and there is valve again, bicuspid valve, which will stop the black flow of blood from um, right ventricle, left ventricle to right atrium, and once this oxygenated blood will fill the left auricle, this bicuspid valve will open, and it will allow the blood to pass through the left ventricle, and it will close again. And this oxygenated blood is sent to all parts of the body via aorta. Okay, so this is the basic structure, and the two atrium are separated by a septum called interauricular septum, and the ventricles are separated by a septum called interventricular septum. And these two walls, they are in generally called atrioventricular septums. So there are valves again at the end of pulmonary artery. There is a semilunar valve which is called semilunar pulmonary valve, and there is a valve again at the end of aortic valve, aorta, which is called semilunar aortic valve. There is another valve which is at the opening point of the inferior vena cava, which is called the eustachian valve. So this is the basic structure of the heart. There is a particular question that always comes to your mind when we talk about valves. So when we talk about tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, a particular question should be coming to your mind. What is that? So as you know, this is the tricuspid valve, this is the bicuspid valve, and this is the okay, this is the basic structure. Okay, so how is that these bicuspid and tricuspid valves are at their place? So let me answer that question for you. These tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, they are having a thread-like structure attached to them. Okay, that is nothing but chordae tendineae. Okay, this chordae tendineae is a thread-like structure which is attached to this tricuspid valve and the bicuspid valve, and this chordae tendineae is again attached to a particular muscle called papillary muscle. This chordae tendineae is responsible for holding these tricuspid valve and bicuspid valves in their place. These bicuspid valves and tricuspid valves stay in their place because of this chordae tendineae, which with the help of papillary muscles is holding them in their place. Suppose these chordae tendineae were not there. So if the chordae tendineae were not holding these tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, the blood transportation would be disrupted and it would stop, because if these threads break, the valves will completely close and there will be no transportation of blood from this atrium to the ventricle. So that's how important these chordae tendineae are. So this is all about the structure of heart. One more thing that you need to notice is that whenever we draw a heart, if you notice, the walls of the atrium are thinner when you compare it with the walls of the ventricle. Why is that? So when we talk about atrium's function, the only function that this atrium does is receiving blood. It's not doing any work, it is just receiving the blood. So when we compare it with the ventricle, ventricle is doing a lot of work. It is transporting the blood to all parts of the body. It is pumping the blood to all parts of the body, to lungs and to all parts of the body. So that's the reason why the walls of ventricles are thicker when you compare it with the auricles. Okay, so this is about all about the heart. Okay, the structure of heart, the topic structure of heart is concluded. So after this topic, structure of heart, there is a very important thing that we need to discuss, that is a conduction of heart, conduction of heartbeat. Um, this is where we have to learn about the nodulation of heart. Okay, how the heart conducts its heartbeat, what are the nodal tissues responsible for it. So let's discuss the conduction of heart. Okay, so when we talk about hearts, there are two types of hearts in general. First one is the neural heart. The second one is the neurogenic heart and myogenic heart. Neural heart or neurogenic heart, one in the same. Neurogenic heart and myogenic heart. So when we talk about neurogenic heart, here what happens in neurogenic heart? The nervous system is responsible for the heartbeat. The nervous system will send the signal to the heart to beat. Okay, this is seen in lower organisms. This neurogenic heart is usually seen in lower organisms, and because it takes a lot of time for to send the signal to the heart and then heart beating, the efficiency of heart in lower organisms is very much low. Okay, but when we talk about our heart, we have a special type of heart where we have a myogenic heart. Here the muscles have advanced, muscles have modified themselves, and here the muscles are responsible for the conduction of a heartbeat, where you will not there is no need for any nerve impulse, any signal from the CNS to beat. They are beating on their own. Here the muscles are modified, they have modified themselves to form a special tissue. That tissue will conduct a heartbeat. Okay, let's talk about them. Okay, our heart is having specialized muscle tissues. Our heart has specialized muscle tissues which generate heartbeat. Okay, this is seen in the myogenic heart, that is usually in mammals. In mammals you see this myogenic heart. Let's discuss about this myogenic heart in detail. So when we talk about the myogenic heart of human beings, we have two important tissues, two nodal tissues that are responsible for conduction of heartbeat. Okay, nodal tissues. What are these nodal tissues? These nodal tissues are tissues which are modified muscle tissues which are able to conduct the heartbeat. They have a special property called autoexcitability. This autoexcitability is the ability to generate the nerve impulse, ability to generate the nerve impulse without any external stimulus. So this special property of autoexcitability is seen in these nodal tissues where there is no need for any external stimulus to tell the heart to beat. Okay, they will beat on their own. They will generate the nerve impulse on their own without any interference with from the CNS, without any instructions received from the CNS. That is the speciality of this myogenic heart. Because they have nodal tissues, they are able to uh, generate a heartbeat without any external signals from the CNS. Okay, when we talk about these nodal tissues, we have two. Okay, let me draw a brief diagram here of heart and tell you how these nodal tissues are and where they are situated. So this is the basic structure of heart. So when we talk about the first nodal tissues, it is the SAN. The most important nodal tissue is nothing but is the SAN, sino-auricular node. Sino-auricular node. This sino-auricular node is also called as the pacemaker of the heart. Pacemaker of the heart, and it is situated in the upper right corner of right atrium. It is situated in the upper right corner of right atrium. This is the main nodal tissues which is having this autoexcitability property. It is having the autoexcitability property. It is responsible for conduction of heartbeat, conduction of nerve impulse, and conduction of heartbeat and contraction of heart. So when we talk about this, it's a very important nodal tissue which is the going to generate the heartbeat. Okay, and the next one is the AVN. Next one is the AVN. This AVN is situated near the AV septum, atrioventricular septum. It is situated at the near the AV septum. It is called the AVN, atrioventricular node. This AV node receives the stimulus, a nerve impulse from the SAN, and it will make sure that the atrium will receive this nerve impulse and it will contract. Okay, and this is responsible for sending the nerve impulse across the heart via AV bundle, and this is why it is called pace setter. It is called the pace setter. It is going to receive the nerve impulse from the SAN and it is going to send it to all parts of the heart by AVN. Okay, AVN by AV bundle. Okay, there is a bundle that originates from this AVN, which is the AV bundle. It is going to carry the nerve impulse from the AVN and it is going to spread it in between the in the interventricular septum. Okay, and so that the ventricles also receive the nerve impulse, and after at this junction it will separate to two parts. Okay, this is called the bundle of His. Left bundle of His and right bundle of His. AV bundle is going to separate into left bundle of His and right bundle of His, and they will make sure the nerve impulse is spread across the heart properly. Okay, one will go to the right ventricle, the other will go to the left ventricle, and they have these um, things that are Purkinje fibers. These Purkinje fibers innervate the walls of the ventricle and will make sure that the ventricle is going to receive the nerve impulse and it is going to beat. It is going to contract. Okay, so this is all about the conductive part of heart, where we have learnt about SAN, where we have learnt about AVN, and where we have learnt about bundle of His and Purkinje fibers. So this is all about the heart and its structure and conducting part of the heart. Okay, with this I conclude. Thank you.